Hey, this is Malika of Evanston Live TV, and I have with me a group of people I think you are going to find very fascinating. One of the things I really love about doing Evanston Live TV is just hearing about all the amazing things that people are doing that people don't even realize it's going on. Evanston has so many wonderful organizations and programs, so many that are here to help nurture, develop, and build our communities, our young people. And we tend to just really not know that these amazing things are going on in the community that can really help the youth, help adults, help everyone overall in the community. So I had the pleasure of meeting David Finkel, and they have an organization called Youth Technology Corp. Do I have that right?
Yes, like Marine Corps.
Yes, and I had such a wonderful conversation with him. I was really fascinated with what they are doing. And the more he told me about this program and how he's teaching the youth to become leaders and mentors in it themselves, to come back to the program while they're in college to teach others to do exactly what they learned to do. And so to me, that is true leadership because it's going to continue to grow. It doesn't just stop with one person. It just continues to grow and grow and grow. That is community leadership. So I can't wait for you all to hear all about this. So please welcome David Finkel, Owen Daly, and Miles Daly, and they're twins, you guys. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. So, David, our conversation I've been thinking about ever since. And I'm so glad that you brought Owen and Miles on because I really want people to see how powerful this organization that you have started is really growing, how impactful it is and how impactful it can be if more people know about it. So, Mr. Finkel, please tell us all about Youth Technology Corp.
Okay, so I'm going to lead, but I hopefully will quickly turn it over to Owen and Miles. So uh, I'll give background later. What I want to start by focusing on is that Owen and Miles and a number of other students who comprise the YTC Leadership Club are holding for the second year a free robotics camp this summer. This is a virtual at home but hands-on camp, and it's going to be taught by Owen and Miles and a team of students. And so we want to talk about that. Now, I want to explain about Owen and Miles. They are seniors at Evanston High School. They have been in the club since their freshman year. Um, they are now co-presidents of the Evanston Club.
Mm.
But more importantly, I want to give a little background before I turn this over to the two of them. And so back in March of last year, when everything closed down and the schools closed down, we switched over to Zoom and the students continued to meet. And so Owen and Miles, as the co-presidents of the club, would lead the meetings. And in one of the first meetings, these students not only teach robotics, they also refurbish computers that they donate to the community. And our club at Evanston has literally over the last 12 years probably donated more than 1,500 computers to families and organizations throughout Evanston. And so I announced to the group, I said, look, guys, everything is closed down. We can't get into the school. So I don't know how we would, we're not going to be able to do any refurbishing. And Owen and Miles immediately popped up and they said, gee, that is too bad. If the computers were ever needed that we donate, it's probably right now we would be willing to donate to refurbish at home. When they said that, everybody else on the call said, yes, we would too. And so over the last school year, they have continued to refurbish and deliver computers to families and organizations, including books and breakfast, as well as families. So as a part of the leadership club, part of their training is to tell the story and get the word out about the summer camp, and also to see if we can, recruit more kids to take this free camp, and also if people so think it's worthwhile, perhaps to raise a little money. So I am going to turn it over to Owen and Miles, and I'm gonna leave it to them to explain what the camp is all about and answer your questions.
All right.
Yeah,
Welcome, Owen and Miles. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
yeah, I'm glad to be here. The summer camp this year is going to be free of charge. We're gonna have 120 openings for students from ages of elementary to even college students for if they want to learn about this. The camp is 5 weeks. There are gonna be 3 days a week, 1 hour a day. And it introduces youth to introductory level robotics and coding, skills that are increasingly valuable as technology continues to advance. It's taught by high school and college students with a student teacher ratio of 5 to 1. So there are 10 student classrooms with virtual classrooms with 2 teachers per, which we found to be like an effective way of teaching, because the team of 2 teachers allows them to explain and hopefully fill some of the gaps in like any like knowledge that some of the others don't and stuff like that. So the camp begins Monday, June 28th and ends Friday, July 30th. And the materials will be delivered to the students at free of charge.
Free is always nice to hear, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to technology.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Miles.
Yeah, hello. So, our camping the only like 1 hour a day for 3 days a week allows students to like balance this with work or like with a summer job or with another summer camp. So this basically allows them. We're like very flexible on timing. We can pretty much time it at any point of the day. If we want to do it over the week, if it's it's easier for the students to do it over the weekend, we can do that too. So yeah, we're very flexible on timings. So if anyone watching is a little bit concerned about that, we can make it work.
Okay. It looks like, are you all at home or in your college dorms?
Oh, I'm at home because
Uh-huh.
we're still high schoolers.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was thinking you guys were in college already. All right. So, God, I have so many questions. So, you mentioned robotics. Excuse me because I'm not tech savvy. So, you all have to, you know, bear with me. Talk to me as if I'm 2, 3 years old here. Okay. So, I'm just really becoming familiar with robotics, like robotics, they're using it more and more in surgery, in hospitals. And so it's really like the robotics that's actually operating on people's bodies now, which is like, whoa, it just kind of freaks me out a little bit, but it's genius. Um, when did you all really get interested in robotics? Because it's fascinating to me. Absolutely fascinating.
I first got interested in robotics actually through this club. Like I didn't really know anything about it before I joined, and the people there were able to teach me a lot of the basics. And then once I got a understanding of the basics, I'm able to move on and
Mhm.
find and work on stuff on my own and just like basically create my own projects with it.
Mm.
And yeah, I've basically gone through the same learning that these students will be going through. So yeah.
Mm.
if it helped me get interested in robotics, I would hope that it would also help others. I would hope and imagine it would help others.
Okay. And Owen, I mean, was technology always an interest? I mean, maybe not robotics, but um, were you all always intrigued? This technology, it just seems like it's growing more and more each day by the second. Like I can't even keep up.
Hmm.
I can't even keep up with it.
Yeah, I had an interest in technology entering the camp. That's basically the main reason I joined the camp in the first place. But it introduced me to a whole lot of new things, and it introduced me into ways that I can help out my community through computer donations and teaching the summer camp. Um, and yeah, I again, like Miles, I didn't really have an interest in robotics before joining the camp, but joining the club, excuse me. And yeah, now I've learned enough that I can teach what I know to others.
It seems like that's where uh, technology is really going. So I applaud you all for getting the community more involved in computers, technology on whatever level they are, because it's needed. Like you can no longer just ignore it. Like, I don't have time to deal with that. I'm going to just continue to write letters. Like I have an aunt that still prefers to write letters, right? So she's so left behind right now. So it's getting to a point where you can't operate. You can't even deal in daily life.
And Malika, the interesting thing about this, so the kinds of complicated robots that you're talking about, and they're being used all the time in industry and in cars, there's so many different things. It's based on really fundamental, simple principles that kids and young adults will learn in this program. So in other words, there are simple things like resistors and diodes. Diodes are those little things that light up. And you learn how to light them up. And you learn the motors that make the wheels go round are servo motors. And you learn how to turn those on. When I say you learn, what I'm really saying is that you learn how to take a piece of code.
Mhm.
You don't write the code, but you take a piece of code, you know what that code does, you can look it up, and then you use a connector to connect it to the code of that machine or that diode, and then you give it an instruction, and the motor will go around, or the light turns on, or the light will flash. And what's interesting is the more complicated machines are all building blocks of those steps, just a lot of them with a lot of different motors or a lot. So you may learn how to use a servo motor, but there are giant size motors, and you may have to get the code that gives that giant motor, but you understand how to turn a motor on because you've already learned it. So it is it's fascinating. And the biggest thing that I want to talk to all the parents and guardians and families out there is too few of our kids are going into these subjects. The job opportunities are there today, and they will be tomorrow. And so one of the things that we want to do and encourage is, if a family is listening and there are 2 or 3 kids, they can all take it together with the idea that just like our high school and college students are helping, the oldest in the family can make sure that the next one in line is learning, and together they can teach the youngest, so that all 3 come out. Because what we really want to do is help very young kids try this stuff on, because if they do, that's when they'll start to like it.
Mm. And you bring up a really interesting point about careers because, when kids are in high school, I mean, they're even starting them younger, but in high school, the counselors, the parents start talking like, what are some things that you're interested in? And you kind of start taking those interests in high school.
Mhm.
And a lot of kids right now are actually choosing trade schools more than the traditional college. And I can't tell you, I have several friends. I'm a lot older than Miles and Owen. But uh, they didn't finish college. They went straight into IT because they took a program similar to what it sounds like what you all are doing. And I mean, they were making six figures like in no time while everyone else was still at the entry level jobs and, finishing college or trying to figure it out. Those that went into IT, I mean, their careers skyrocket because it's so needed. That knowledge is so needed.
Well, I think I'm glad you brought that up. That's a very important point. So this is a field, as you can tell, from the computers to the robotics, which is all connected in ways in terms of language and what you're doing, it is such a fundamental part of the future, the present, that it is the opportunity. And so the more that we can get kids with the understanding that this is where your opportunity is. And what's interesting is, yes, getting a degree is certainly advantage, but this is a field that if you know what you're doing, you don't need a degree.
Yes.
So, and frankly, the way most of the employers that I know evaluate somebody, they may ask for A+ certification or something, but everything is based on a trial test, given what, to see really, do they know what they're doing? That's the main thing. So you create a career in this field when you learn how to do it.
That is so true. And I know that I'm generations away from, the youngsters today, but my friends that went into that field, once they really started learning what you all are talking about, sky's the limit to their opportunities. They became consultants, and I mean, they're very successful. Very, very successful in IT.
And I want to stress another thing. This is useful even if you have no interest in computers or robotics, but just want to take it for the experience, because in addition to those skills and understandings that you're gaining, it's also a troubleshooting process, a problem-solving process. And anything that helps our young people to learn how to, on their own, know how to solve a problem instead of waiting for somebody to give them an answer, is one of the most crucial requirements
in life
of jobs in the future, today. So we want, especially those families, who aren't going to have the money to send their kids to camp or provide extras. We want to make sure that any family that is within reach knows. I don't know if I sent you a flyer of this, but I will, after this call, I will send it to you, and the flyer has on it a link that you can go to and apply right then and there. So we're taking applications for the summer camp now. We haven't given final decisions on which days and times, but the dates are certain, from the end of June to the end of July.
This is really awesome. I can't wait to get this information out to the community. What message would you give to kids who are more operate from whichever side of the brain that's more artsy, creative? What would you say to them in terms of they should get involved in this? I mean,
well, two very important messages. Number one, the art world is using these technologies. both visual and robotics. There are literally on an international basis, there are art displays in which this kind of robotics and making things work is absolutely part of the development. Secondly, to take this, again, not only the problem solving, because electricity and electronics are such an integral part of our world, to have an understanding one of the reasons we teach about the computer is so that most of the students don't go on to be computer techs. But once you know how what's inside the black box, you have a different perspective and you feel more comfortable. The same is true in terms of understanding how electricity and data and how coding works. You may never become a coder, but if you used code, I think this is more important than learning how to write code. If you use code to make something work in the real world, you have a sense of how the world is beginning to work on so many different levels, because that's what's making the world work. Code to machine to something changing. And so just as a preliminary class with kids, your peers teaching it on a very small basis, 1-to-5 ratio, you're getting a sense of how all that gets put together. And that gives you a level of understanding about the world you live in that may not be translated into specific results, but gives you a sense of understanding of your world that kind of gives you a platform of confidence when you look out at anything else that's new.
And I'm glad you brought up the 2 points, because some people be like, oh, well, I don't have that engineer tech kind of mind. But the way that you've laid it out, one, it's development just in dealing with life. If you can problem solve, you need that skill throughout life, period. I don't care what your career choice is. Being able to, like you said, look into that box and figure out how it works and make it work, fix it to make it work. You can apply that to life skills. And then for those kids who, like myself, artsy and creative, so sometimes we fear things like this, the whole coding and formulas and things like that. But the way that you explain that is that this is the art world too. And I've been seeing more and more of it, actually. My mom is in the art world, so I'm seeing a lot more of this. So actually, this applies to everyone. This does not exclude anyone, and that's what I love about it. And it actually teaches just developmental skills for life, period. I love this. Absolutely love this. I wish it was around when I was a youth.
Well, I'm sure Owen and Miles would love to have you join one of the classes. We'll provide you with a kit. And not only that, but for busy people or for somebody who has plans, the sessions are posted on YouTube. So right now, in fact, Owen and Miles begin next Monday teaching another group of students who will become the trainers this summer. Mm-hmm. And so we have the sessions are on YouTube so that students who miss, because they're not going to be perfect, can go back to the session and see it, and with their kit follow along. If they're not sure of something, they can go back and review the session. So all of that makes it very possible. Owen said earlier that this is something that, because it's only 3 hours a week and various times, anybody can do it. It's not like a camp that requires you're going to have to go put in 8 hours a day or 5 hours a day. And so it's really not possible to do anything else. This is something that if you're going on vacation in the middle of this and you're anywhere close to a computer that has internet, and most people don't want to be too far away from it, you can take a couple of hours out during your vacation and still, continue on with the project.
Yes, this is awesome. And I thought of you all instantly when I had seen a video on YouTube of, I don't know if it was DoorDash or Grubhub, I don't know, but it was a robot delivering food in LA on its own by itself. And this guy was driving his car. He was like, what the heck is that? And then he saw another one crossing the street. And then he saw another one crossing the street. So he followed one to an address because he had never seen it before. And, you know, then the customer came down from his apartment and, you know, got his food from the little robot. And I mean, I was like, wow, that's where we're going. That's where we're headed.
So every week we have multiple sessions a week, one with each group, and then we have a combined where all the kids are together on a single session. And Miles and Owen every once a week provide a curious video, and they have found all kinds of crazy things. But I want to get them into it. If again, I have a tendency to talk too much. One of the things I would like your permission. So one of the things that they are in the process of doing, they have just finished preparing a presentation, and we've raised about 60% of the money, but we still need to raise some more of the money, and this is going to be their first time to try it out on somebody that's not somebody they know. So I'd like you to turn it over to them, and as if they were coming to ask you for some support.
All right, I'm here.
Yeah. So as Dave said, we've raised about 60% of the money. We have $11,200 left to raise. And any donation any donation counts. Like $30 could pay for one robot kit. Okay, my cat is all over me. Sorry. $30 pays for one robotics starter kit. $100 pays for a robotics starter kit and a robot car. $300 pays for the stipend for one student teacher, and $2,000 can pay for the master teacher. So if anyone is watching at home that is interested by this by this camp and wants to support it, can send us an email or check out the website. Dave, have you supplied your email in the?
No, you should actually, you can put it in chat, right?
Yes.
Well, I'll be sure to put the address in the description for everybody.
Yeah,
video.
they can go to the Youth Technology Corps website, and there's a donate button at the top right, which is a PayPal. They have choices of how to do it. All the organizations have the same kind of thing. So that's what they can do to make a donation.
Yeah, also something that you can do without even having to directly donate anything is YTC is an Amazon Smile supported nonprofit. So if you don't know what that is, you can basically, if you search Google Amazon Smile, you can link YTC to your Amazon account, so that whenever you buy something off Amazon, a small portion of it is donated to YTC. So basically, even if you can't really afford or don't feel comfortable donating directly to the club, you can still put that into Amazon Smile. So whenever you're using Amazon to order something, it helps us a little bit. So yeah.
That is awesome. And everybody uses Amazon almost every day. We're ordering stuff, getting stuff delivered almost every day from Amazon Prime, right?
Right, and it doesn't cost the person anything.
Awesome, awesome. This is really great. This is really great. Everything is moving so fast, and I feel like no matter what level you're at, you definitely need to at least learn some basics. At least learn some basics just to keep up. And if you're a young person, most definitely, because you're entering into this you'll be entering into the career world, and it seems like you can really get left behind if you don't have just some basics. And
Well,
that's-
there's really two you're absolutely right. I mean, to get the fundamentals, but it's also an attitude which has to change, and everybody talks about it, and that is you go to school to get your formal education, but you never stop learning because everything is changing. So you cannot just stand in place. To stand in place requires you to constantly learn to stay in place.
Mm.
So it also means a change in attitude. And of course, young people are more apt to pick that up.
Yeah, yeah. You have a lot of people, maybe my age and older, who are just in resistant mode. In resistant mode, just not wanting to. Their brain can't take anymore, especially formulas and coding. But this is so fascinating to me, even as an older person. I'm wanting to learn more. I just feel like I need to learn more, some basics and fundamentals. Even
We're all users of technology,
yeah,
and so and the technology is always changing. If you don't mind, I'd like to now give a little background on the organization and kind
yeah,
of give a sense of, because we're not just in Evanston. So YTC started in Cicero, Illinois, with Morton East High School back in the late 90s. And by 2000, the students, it started strictly as a computer program. The kids were basically, I started a computer club there. And one of my business clients had 100 computers that were being replaced, and said, if you can use them, let me know. And I went to the principal. I had started a computer club, and I said, give me a place to put them, and I can bring 100 computers that the kids can work on. And that started it. Within 18 months, the kids had refurbished and donated computer labs to 5 different community organizations: Boys and Girls Clubs, youth commissions, and even children's centers with preschool kids. And they had begun teaching on those computers. And so then Cicero is mostly Mexican American, and in the summer of '99, I sent a letter home to the families, offering them to don't if they were interested in having a computer lab brought to their hometown in Mexico. And so in 2000, I took 6 kids and 10 computers to rural towns in Durango, Mexico, where the kids went to church on Sunday to announce that we had set up the computers in the first computers in a primary school, and that we would hold classes. It was during the summer, and we didn't know how many people would show up, and 60 people showed up. And since then, we have now on a 22, we're in a 22-year relationship with them. Evanston started, the chairman of the board at the time had been a lifelong resident of Evanston. And so 12 years ago, we started the program in Evanston. That program, as I mentioned before, has donated computers all over, but also they followed, when they saw what the Cicero group was doing with Mexico, they wanted to do the same thing. So in 2016, we took 6 students from ETHS and 6 laptops to New Orleans to help New Orleans. We had both a school and a church, and in 3 days, the church had been given a donation of 40 computers that they didn't know what to do with because they needed to be refurbished. So the kids descended on the church, and in 1.5 days refurbished 40 computers and set them up as 2 computer labs for the church, and then went to a small charter school, a Dinkra school in New Orleans, and spent a day. They delivered the 6 laptops plus 5 more desktops, and then held an all-day series of seminars, both with the kids and with the teachers of the school, showing them how to use the computers and giving them some lessons on how to research on the internet. So
Yeah.
there's a whole history of empowering kids to do it themselves.
Mm, mm. And that is so important, to teach them to do it themselves. And knowledge is just power. Knowledge is power. And being self sufficient and seeking that information and figuring it all out on your own. And that's what the program, it teaches you to figure it out. It teaches you to figure it out. So, yes, yes. Wow. This is really awesome. Where have you all been?
Well, it's a basically it's a small organization of essentially a couple of part-time people and volunteers. And so we haven't had the resources to promote ourselves. So it's mainly been focused on the communities, the schools and the community organizations that we're able to help, because there hasn't been the bandwidth to promote. We're doers, not promoters.
Hmm, hmm.
So we could use all the help we can get on the promotion side.
Well, I'm definitely going to do my part to get it out to the community as best I can, because I think this is so valuable, um, on any level that someone is, in terms of how this all works. And I love that you all are teaching kids to just to do it yourself and to problem solve, and handing the baton over for them to teach other kids. That's powerful, absolutely powerful to me. What are some of the stories? I know I have to let you all go. What are some of this? I got two more questions. Actually, I have more than that, but I know I gotta let you go. So, what are maybe some success stories, some stories of some kids that you worked with that just you were like, wow. I know you
Okay,
can't like
so
impressed with all of them, but
yeah, so a couple of quick ones. Alex Baumer went to ETHS, became president of the club, got a 4-year scholarship to IIT,
mm,
finished that, and went on to get his master's degree within the same, I think it took him altogether 4.5 years of grueling work. And he's now in a serious position in IT in the Chicago area. Um, Jesus Carrera, this goes back to one of the first students, and we actually spent that first trip to Mexico in Jesus's grandfather's barn on that first trip. Jesus went on to become a IT engineer. He's now a senior engineer with Adobe Systems. So yeah, we have. Let's see. Anna went on to get a degree in engineering, and now I believe she's still with ComEd as an electrical engineer. Olga, who was on the first trip to Mexico, went on to get a PhD in biomicroelectrical engineering and is now a research scientist at Johns Hopkins. So
woo! All right now.
we have some, pretty, but those are the ones that stand out. There are also just tons of kids who have simply gone on to successful careers. Nothing spectacular, but you know, gotten jobs and found their way into industry with the skills that they manage, both with what we taught them and what they got in school.
Well, spectacular is knowledge is spectacular on
Mhm.
like is just, and this kind of knowledge is sky's the limit on what you can do with it. I'm curious, Owen and Miles, what are your plans?
So yeah, I still haven't committed to a school yet. I'm gonna do that probably soon. But anyways, I'm currently expecting, I think I want to major in mathematics in college, and also data science is something I'm also interested in, which like just learning with this like problem solving has helped with math, and also because like even though it's not like directly related in some ways, it's still gonna help. And also data science I know involves like some coding and stuff, and I've learned some coding here. So
Mm,
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and also like the teaching in the summers has like I'm kind of interested in becoming a teacher now because
Awesome.
yeah, like teaching the summers has gotten like got me the experience in that, and it seems like something that would be fun and meaningful for the community.
Wow. Wow. So how do you all feel? You might, help the next Mark Zuckerberg, right? And they'll say, "Oh, it all started. I was part of the YTC group." So, you know, and what he was in college, he didn't. I don't even think he finished, did he? But he was doing coding. That's what it.
Mhm.
That's where it started. That's where Facebook started.
Yes, that's
That's where Facebook started. Wow. Well, I am so impressed, and I just want to say thank you for your service to the community with this. This is a jewel. This is a gift, and it's a gift that's going to keep on giving. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So thank you so much. And please, one more time before I let you all go, one more time, let everyone know where they can reach out and one, become a part of the program, two, donate to help you all further this mission.
okay. So it's Youth Technology Corps, and that's CORPS. And if they go to the website, you don't have to remember the website. All you have to do, if you Google Youth Technology Corps, our mailing address is 1055 West Bryn Mawr, just so they'll know they're at the right place. But also, the flyer is posted on the website. So they can just go to the website and then get the link. The website will also give them some idea of our history and the current activities and posts. You'll see some pictures of Owen and Miles along with some of their other members while they were donating computers to different groups. So it's a good way of just finding out about who we are.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Owen, Miles. Thank you. Please continue the work, and I would love to follow up with you guys just to see where you are later on. I'm excited for your future. Very, very excited. And thank you so much, David, for this vision. Thank
Well,
you.
Malika, thank you so much for this opportunity. This is great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Most definitely. All right. Well, we are going to follow up with this group. I am so impressed, and I'll be sure to put the contact information for all of you out there be in the description of this post, and reach out, get your kids involved, donate, whether it's monetary or donating computers, all sorts of materials that they can use to continue to help educate the community on an industry that is forever changing and growing, and we cannot ignore it. We cannot escape. We can't act like it's not happening. It's here. It is here. So you all please be sure to look up the Youth Technology Corps and just see what they're all about. See what they're all about and see how you can help or become a part. So please stay tuned here on Evanston Live TV. We have more amazing people coming up right here.